I wanted to make this little video about something that I've actually had quite a few questions about, and I'm betting because of the number of questions over the years, there are probably a lot more assumptions out there. Probably the assumptions go a variety of directions even. What I'm talking about is this thing. If you've been on my Facebook, one of my Facebook pages, across the middle of the banner, you've probably seen this. And a lot of people go, well, you know, that's pretty egotistical to call yourself trainer to the trainers. I said, well, let me tell you the story about this. One of the things our industry doesn't seem to recognize is this little thing. It's a circle R. It's a registered trademark, is what that stands for. Now, you've probably seen when people put TM behind something, which stands for trademark, and if we were being accurate, there's other ones called SM, which are service marks. Trademark is for a product, service mark is for something provided uniquely. And I'm not an attorney, I'm just telling you what I've learned over the years, because back in 1995, I started applying for this. I told the attorney that I'd use for a while to get trademarks. That had a couple other trademarks that were registered, meaning you own those terms for that product or service. They are specific to classes, be it exercise versus cars versus blenders, whatever. They've got categories, so you don't get them in every category. But specific to what I did, I wanted to get this trademark. I had been for about 6 years at that point training trainers. And what it, arguably, I don't know, is I'm told is the first national personal training certification, and then for years after that. But so I tried to apply for this, and he said, well, I think you're going to have trouble with that because it's very descriptive. And I said, okay, fill me in. And again, this is my interpretation of what he said 20 whatever years ago. And he said, well, you know, Coca-Cola could not have gotten a trademark called brown sugary liquid. And I'm not saying it would have sold a lot of Coca-Cola if they had. I'm just saying that's very descriptive of the product itself. That's the way he described it to me. And he said, this is describing what you do. It's not a trademark or a service mark thing in terms of that problem. And I said, well, I've been somewhat accomplished in my life at bringing up exceptions to things, and so I asked him, I said, well, what about this? This was curious to me because this circus has always, throughout my life and my dad's life even, been known as the greatest show on earth. And there's a little registered trademark sign right there. They owned that. You couldn't have something called the greatest show on earth. They would sue you. That's what that ownership means. That's what that, and they were awarded that. Why were they awarded that? He said, well, that's interesting as a scenario because this phrase, the greatest show on earth, had to have been associated with this name for so long that it was considered something everybody would know and everybody could associate. It wasn't just something they dreamt up and said, we're going to call our circus this, greatest show on earth. And I said, well, how might someone do that? How might someone accomplish that? And he said, for what you do, I have absolutely no idea. And I started thinking, well, I said, Jerry, what if, so I'm on these infomercials, and in 1995, I made my first infomercial. I was fortunate enough to be, because of what I did, considered an expert in, well, specifically the field of equipment, exercise equipment, both residential and commercial. And worked with engineers and designers, and I hate marketers, but sorry. I like the guts of the thing. I like the real deal. And certainly there's compromises in home equipment or whatever, but I got the opportunity to be on a couple infomercials because of what I did and how I could speak to the product. But that's an interesting scenario because one of them got so big and was on from 96 to 2009. So there were quite a few years, well over a decade, of being on TV 24 hours a day on at least one channel on cable in at least one country in the world, because this was an internationally driven product. Now, it's embarrassing, but I asked them from the very beginning, this is horrendous. This one didn't do well. It didn't sell a lot. So they said, we're going to reshoot this. He's over there laughing his ass off. Okay, so they put Tom Purvis, PT, International Lecturer, Trainer, to the trainers. And I said, if we put this on here year after year after year, and it's considered to have been in the public for every single day of every single year, could we eventually try to apply for this thing? And he said, we can try. So this was the 1996 or 5 or whatever version of this thing. And then this one, I was supposed to act like I was mad, you know, people are lying to us. It didn't do well either, but they left it on for a while. All these different versions of this thing. So this was like 96, I think. Again, they put it on there for me. This was a 99 reshoot. They put it on here for me. So it got to where there was enough association. Now, they don't do polls. They don't go walking around the street and go, who's trainer of the trainers? Any more than they do that about anything else, any other trademark that's awarded that might also be descriptive. But due to the amount of time, due to the years, due to the 24-hour-a-day push of this product, and this along with it, there's 99. I can't remember the year, let's call it 2003 or something. Anyway, it just kept going. In fact, this is actually after the date. You see that little circle R right there? I know you can't, I'm sorry, it's so small. There, it's a registered trademark. Here, it's a registered trademark. To this day, it's a registered trademark that I was awarded. I've owned these words since 2001. So that's why I can put them on here, and that's why nobody else can legally do it. So I just thought you should know. I thought all the people that asked should know. I'm not going to respond to every little comment and question on 15 different sources on the internet. So here it is. There's your answer. I don't know what else to tell you. It's the legal truth.